The Bandit King. Am I doing that right? The Bandit King. Hello, kindly people of YouTube, punkrockfairyprincess here, and as promised, here is a review of The Trail to Oregon. The Trail to Oregon was part of Starkid's 2014 summer season. The music and lyrics were written by Jeff Blim, and the book was written by Jeff Blim as well as Nick and Matt Lang. The show is based upon this old video game called The Oregon Trail, which students played to experience, I guess, what pioneers would have gone through on the Trail to Oregon, with all the, dying and bandits and stuff. I don't know. I haven't played the game since it was from the 80s, and I very clearly was not alive in the 80s. I have tried to find it online somewhere without success, unfortunately, because after watching the show I kind of want to see what the actual game is like. But upon researching this video game, there are a lot of references to the game within the show. The Trail to Oregon follows a family, father, mother, son, and daughter and grandpa, as they travel down the Oregon Trail to start a new life in Oregon, and all the obstacles and problems they face along the way. Like most Starkid shows, basically all Starkid shows, this musical has a lot of fourth wall breaks. There is no fourth wall, like, there just isn't. And there are quite a few swings between, heartfelt moments and funny moments, which are much more drastic, I think, than most Starkid musicals. You go immediately from, like, a heartfelt thing to, like, this great joke. So, I don't know. Some people might call it mood swingy, but I liked it, so. Trail to Oregon is probably one of my favorite Starkid musicals, although I have said that about every single musical I've reviewed, so you'll never know. There's also a lot of audience participation in the show. The audience gets to pick the names of the characters and do some other things. I don't want to spoil y'all. So that's really cool. So this is probably the end of the non-spoilery section of this video. So if you haven't seen the musical, go watch it. It's really good. Yeah, you should. It's great. So let's talk about the characters and the actors. So like I said, the audience gets to pick the names of the characters in the show, or at least the characters of the family. I'm going to refer to them as what they're called in the YouTube version of the show, basically the canon version now, but they had many other names. And if you want to know what they are, you can Google it. It's on there somewhere. So basically kind of the main character, although the entire family it's one of those ensemble main character type things. But the father is kind of more like the big character. The father, who in the YouTube version is named Jack Bauer, to Jeff Blim's great satisfaction, is played by Jeff Blim. His character undergoes, I think, the most character development throughout the show. In the beginning, he's a moron, as he states himself. He's not great at anything, basically. That's his character. He's not good at anything. He doesn't have a great relationship with his wife. He has a decent relationship with his kids, kind of. He doesn't have a very good relationship at all with his father-in-law, and he makes a lot of mistakes. Yeah, so he undergoes the most character development. In the beginning, he's a bit of a pushover, and he gets distracted very easily. But by the end, he puts it all on the line and does anything to save his family, because he realizes that how much his mistakes have ruined his family, basically, because his daughter gets kidnapped and they get stuck because their wagon breaks down a ton of times. But yeah, he undergoes a lot of character development, and by the end of the show he has repaired relationships with basically his entire family. Character development is probably not as developed as in some musicals. That's because this is more of like a comedy show, and the character development is a little bit rushed, I guess, but I really like Jeff Blim in this role. Honestly, any role that Jeff Blim plays is automatically, I don't know, people always say Jeff Blim has a lot of chaotic energy. This is probably one of his least chaotic roles. Although in the opening number, Gone to Oregon, he looks into the camera so many times and just chaotic energy. The mother, who in the YouTube version is called Slippery When Wet, is played by Rachel Soglin. This is the second Starkid show she's in? Yes. And she's so great. She portrays the, tough mom so well. It's just wow. And Rachel is, Her voice is great. I will talk more about singing voices in like the song section of this video, but just yes. She also undergoes a fair bit of character development because in the beginning she and her daughter do not have a great relationship. She kind of manipulates her daughter like a lot by pretending to die and make her feel bad, and by the end she promises never to do that again, so A+ parenting. The daughter, who in the YouTube version is called Mouthface, is played by Jamie Lynn Beatty. If you have seen my other videos, you know how much I freaking love Jamie Lynn Beatty. She's very cool. I like her a lot. She has a good voice. She also undergoes a fair bit of character development in the show. Like I said, she and her mom don't have a great relationship, and by the end they kind of repaired that. Like I said, the character development in the show is a bit rushed. It's not super deep, but that's because it's more of a comedy show than like a drama show. Although, like I said, the mood swings a lot in this show, which I think is really cool. The son, who in the YouTube version is called Crap Hole, is played by Lauren Lopez, because of course Lauren Lopez plays the 7-year-old boy. But honestly, she portrays a 7-year-old boy, or a 7-year-old child in general, so well. Speaking as someone who has a little brother who not very long ago was 7 years old, just wow. Like, oh my goodness. I mean, this partially goes to the writing, so, you know, props to Nick and Matt Lang and Jeff Blim for, like, somehow gathering the essence of a 7-year-old child and just putting it down on paper. Like, one of my favorite parts of the show is just Lauren, just in general, because wow. Another super cool, genuine thing in this show is Mouthface and Crample's like sibling relationship, because it is also super accurate. I mean, just this one scene is more accurate of a sibling relationship than most I have seen on TV or movies in my life.
Hey, alien. Hey, here, dinner. Duh. Eat it. Eat it. I love you.
Then there's the grandpa, Titty Mitty, who is played by Corey Doris. And if you saw my The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals video, you will know that I think Corey Doris is very underappreciated. I think he's amazing. He's funny. He has a great voice. And yes, he is very underappreciated. So, y'all, appreciate Corey Doris, okay? Yeah. I don't mean to be aggressive about this, but do it. That was terrifying. I apologize. Corey Doris also plays another character in the show, because I did not mention this before. This show only has 6 actors in it, which just, that's amazing. So obviously there are people playing different roles, and the more minor ones of like Jeff and Rachel and Jamie I did not mention, but Corey also plays Cletus Jones, who is the sidekick to the bandit I will talk about next. Fucking Cletus Jones, man. He's great. He is, yes.
And my name's Cletus Jones. I've killed 3 people.
He's amazing. I truly hope that in heaven he and his bandit boyfriend can fully realize their romantic relationship. Or, actually, even better, Cletus Jones finds himself a better boyfriend than his previous bandit ex-boyfriend, because his bandit boyfriend did not appreciate him for the man that he was. That got really emotional very quickly, but okay. Then we have Joey Richter playing everybody else. And I really love everybody else roles because of this musical, honestly. This is the first musical or TV show or movie or anything that has an everything else role, because just, yes. So the main character that he plays in this musical is McDoon, the previously mentioned bandit. The Bandit King. The Bandit King is the one who kidnaps Mouthface and who generally terrorizes the Dick Rats family. Oh yes, that's right. They're called the Dick Rats. Of course they are. He's great. It's really cool to see Joey as like a villainous character, even if it is like a comedic villain, because pretty sure we haven't seen that before. So that was cool. He's the type of character that, like, if not played for laughs, would actually be really fucking creepy. but because it is played for laughs, he's very funny and charming. So I'm not sure if that's a positive or a negative, but I'm just saying it. And he, yes, like I said, he plays every single other fucking character in the show, basically, other than some minor characters played by, like, Jeff and Jamie and Rachel. He plays the general store guy, who is literally called the general store guy. He plays every single citizen of Independence. The baby ox, iconic role, and Cornwallis the lobster. And I will talk about that later, because it's one of my favorite things in this entire show. Like I said previously, the music was written by Jeff Blim, as well as additional music written by Drew DeFore. I'm not sure how to say his name, but yes. Just a side note before I start talking about the music, the band that plays the music throughout the show is the same band that played the music throughout Annie a Parody, which played in the same 2 weeks as this show. I just want to say props to that band for, like, playing 2 shows in 2 weeks. Just, wow, that is hard to do. So, yes. The first song is Gone to Oregon, which is the introduction. It's the opening number. Yes, okay. This is the number in which all the characters get named. There's a lot of foreshadowing in this song and the next song, and I will not go over every single time things were foreshadowed because it's just a lot. I mean, all these songs are so fucking catchy. They are great. And one of my favorite things, and I think one of everyone's favorite things, in Gone to Oregon is the rhyming scheme, because Oregon does not rhyme with a lot. However, if you pronounce Oregon differently, it rhymes with a ton more things. Or a shit, or a gown, or a gap. Just so many possibilities, guys. Then there is Independence, aka the song in which Joey plays a ton of different characters. This is in Independence, Missouri, which is the first town in which pioneers would go through to go to Oregon. Just listen to the song, you'll get the whole history. This one is great because Joey plays a ton of different characters, and it's hilarious. And it also is one of those, you know, really fast songs. I know there's a word for them. I spend a lot of time on tvtropes.com, so I should know this, but I don't. But yes, it is one of those really fast songs, which I have actually learned all the lyrics to, because of course I have. Then there is the song The Grind, which is sung on their way to Oregon, because everyone's like, wow, this trip is really shitty. And then Jack Bauer's like, nah, let's just dance. It'll be fine. And it's great. This song really shows off Jeff Blim's range, which pretty sure I mentioned in the Guide to the Musicals, but damn, that guy's got range. Pays to Be an Animal, probably one of my favorite songs in the show. At least one of my favorite funny songs in this show. First of all, because Corey Doris sings it, so what more do I have to say? It's word salad, it's hilarious. Crap hole cries, and the audience laughs, and animals die. It's truly an amazing song. When the World's at Stake is when the musical suddenly takes a dramatic, serious tone, and I am all here for it. Because first of all, Rachel's voice is amazing, and so, obviously, yes. But also, this song is heartfelt and beautiful, and holy shit, both in, like, the portrayal of Rachel and the writing of the lyrics. Like, guys, wow. Just, this song makes me tear up. That was not something I was expecting to happen in a musical written by Jeff Blim. Like, obviously, I'm not insulting him. I'm just saying, usually his shows have a more comedic tone to them. Then we have the extremely odd and I don't know how to describe it. It's a song that happens after Jack Bauer has been bitten by a poisonous, venomous snake. I'm sorry, Professor, my classical mythology class. I should know the difference between venomous and poisonous, but I cannot remember at this moment. But yes, he gets bitten by a venomous/poisonous snake and is hallucinating. And in this hallucination, he is told by a creepy voice, aka Joey Richter, because of course, that the Watchers, aka the audience, will choose his family's fate, and that one of his family members will die of dysentery. And then we have the end of Act 1 number, which if you've seen any of my musical review videos, you know that I freaking love end of Act 1 musical numbers, especially if they're medleys, which in this case it is. Wagon on Fire is the end of Act 1 number. This is probably one of my favorite songs in this entire show. First of all, because Joey sings the very beginning bit of it, and it is glorious. And also because it is a medley, and it's an end of Act 1 song. And I've said that numerous times now, but I just really freaking love those types of songs. Okay, so we end Act 1 with with Mouthface kidnapped by the infamous Bandit King, and the wagon has burst into flames, winter is on the way, and the screen goes black. Wow, we are getting very dramatic. Okay, we begin Act 2 with another serious dramatic song, this time sung by Jamie Lynn Beattie, whose voice, as I have said numerous times before, and will continue to say for the rest of my life, is amazing. The song is called Lost Without You. It is beautiful. It makes me tear up. Basically, Mouthface is singing about how she misses her family and how she regrets that she ever wanted to leave them, and how, you know, being kidnapped by the Bandit King was not such a great thing to happen after all. Then we have the heartbreaking bar scene. It's not as, you know, emotionally heart-ripping in half as some Starkid scenes have been. And yet, and yet. Oh my goodness, I must look so emotionally unstable in these videos. Okay, let me set the stage here. Winter has come. The Dickratz family comes into a bar. Everyone is frustrated. Emotions rise high. There is a great bit of product placement.
These Mike's Hot Lemonades that I can't seem to get rid of, huh?
Everyone wet ends up leaving Jack Bauer. There is a metaphor about a dog. It's beautiful. It's tragic. Just, yes. So, anyway, so she leaves. And then as Craphole follows her, he gives probably some of the best advice in the entire show, which is funny because he's a drunk 7-year-old.
Oh, and Dad? Mom may have thrown you off the proverbial wagon, but sometimes when you throw things off the wagon, they bounce back on. Maybe that'll happen to you, Dad. Maybe that'll happen to you. Then we have Jack Bauer and Titty Minnie have a heartfelt conversation that kind of goes off the rails because Titty Minnie mentions Cornwallis, the lobster, which I'll talk about later. Anyway, then suddenly the general store guy enters the bar with his lady friend, who is Jamie Lynn Beattie, but just like in a really big bonnet, so you can't tell it's actually her, except you can't. But yes. Anyway, Jack Bauer suddenly is like, I need to save my family and do whatever it takes to get us to Oregon and also save our daughter. So he decides to threaten the general store guy with a gun to get an actually functioning wagon and like food and shit. And then comes When the World's at Stake reprise. Because, yes, it is beautiful. Jack Bauer sings a touching reprise of When the World's at Stake. Then, suddenly, out of the blue, the general store guy is just like, don't kill her. Kill me instead. And you're like, oh shit, wait, he's supposed to be sympathetic too? And then he tries to sing a reprise, but then totally fails in the last note because comedy. That sounded sarcastic, but it wasn't. Anyway, then this is the bit where Joey always does an ad-lib thingamajigger, so I don't know how it is differently in different shows. So that happens. Then Jack Bauer, with a beautiful new wagon that does not have octagon wheels or a floor window, comes alongside Craphole and Slippery When Wet, and they do a speed run.
A speed run!
Yeah!
Which is also one of my favorite songs in this entire show, because it's fucking, yeah. This song is fucking... It's a hyping up song. If you ever need a song to hype you up for anything, this fucking song is the song. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, aka McDoon's Wagon, the Bandit King, and Cletus Jones and Mouthface are gonna try to cross the... what river? Columbia River, the dangerous river in the world. They have to cock the wagon. That is cock, spelled C-A-U-L-K. Right, to cock, C-A-U-L-K. Just, I want to make it explicitly clear that that is what I'm saying. It's a type of, like, sealant. So basically they're gonna, like, seal the wagon and make it waterproof so they can cross the river. But of course, because this is a Starkid show, there are so many fucking innuendos in this song, and it is great. Anyway, they end up crossing they try to cross the river, they smash into a rock. Cletus Jones and McDoon die. That was ever dramatic. Because of, wait for it, the hand signal. So anyway, they die. Then suddenly, in the distance, appear the Dick Rats. I can't be serious with these fucking names. Then, in the distance, come the Dick Rats. And they rescue Mouthface, but then they all crash. Then the epic Cornwallis scene happens, which I will talk about in just a second. I promise. I've been saying that all the video, but yes. And then, just as they reach the state line, they are met by a doctor, played, of course, by Joey Richter, who says that he needs to check to make sure none of them have dysentery. Ooh, does that perhaps call back to the song Dysentery World, where the character Jack Bauer was told by the mysterious voice that the watchers would choose one of them to die of dysentery at the end of the show? Yes, it does. So, at this point, what happens next is all up to the audience. Unless, of course, you're watching the YouTube version, in which you can watch all of them die if you want to. To the song, You Gotta Go, which is a beautiful song, made slightly less serious by the fart noises made by Joey Richter in the background as the character painfully and hilariously dies of dysentery on stage. After whichever character dies, someone in the family will say, no, this isn't right, and they will bring them over the state line. And due to numerous reasons, depending on which character died, they will come back to life. In the case of Titty Mitty, Jack Bauer and Crap Hole, they will come back to life due to the sweet, crisp, clean air of Oregon filling their lungs and bringing them back to life. In the case of Mouthface, or Slippery When Wet, the coming back to life will reflect an earlier point in the show when Slippery When Wet died to manipulate Mouthface into feeling bad. And any of the above is hilarious. Then, after Titty Minnie finds out that Cornwallis, the British Army officer, no, the lobster of course, left him his $1 million bill and that they're actually rich, then Craphole's life dream comes true as they all go skinny dipping to the song Naked in a Lake, in which all of the characters, including the Ox, all strip down, and yes, the Ox takes off his skin because of course he does, and have a beautiful number as they frolic. I just want to say, they're not actually naked on stage, guys. Just calm the fuck down. Jeff Lim has a sax solo. It is great. Okie dokie. Finally, we are going to talk about the Cornwallis joke because that's one of my favorite things in the show. And it is probably one of the best, well-built-up jokes I have seen in a musical in a very long time. Very long time. It makes me sound like I'm old. I really fucking love this joke so much because it just, from the very beginning, like, it's there. And, you know, Titty Minnie is like, I killed so many goddamn lobsters. And the whole time it's taken as this, oh, Grandpa's so kooky. He's so weird.
He was more of a man than I'll ever be. And he was a lobster.
And then, in one of the most glorious scenes in this show, the side stage door opens, because of course there's a side stage door at the Starkid musical after all, and Joey Richter walks out in a lobster costume. Oh, this is such a good fucking show.
You.
Hello. Titty Mitty.
And the audience collectively loses it. And I do too, every single time. I wish I could watch this musical again just so I could see that moment again. I probably have so much more to say about this musical, but I cannot think of anything. Normally, when I review a musical, I watch it like a couple days before I actually, film the video, but I literally just watched this like a couple of hours ago, so I have had very little time to collect my thoughts, but final exams are coming up. I have like 3 essays to write, and I thought I wanted to film this early. This probably is less organized and less in-depth than I would have liked it to be. I really like this musical. If you haven't seen it, just go do it. It's really funny. I promise you will not regret it. I kind of want to do something for Starkid's 10th anniversary, which is on the 9th of April, if I'm correct. I don't know if I'll actually have time to do anything like that. I really want to, but we shall see. So, as always, thank you for watching. If you liked this, like the video. If you want to see more about me fangirling about Starkid and also talking about other shit that interests me, just subscribe if you want to. I'm not forcing you, just you do you. This has been me. I'll see y'all later. Bye!